Your Honor, after checking it again, wala po nakalagay na
Okay.
cash on hand.
Wala pong cash
or
on
bank.
hand. Dumako po tayo sa kanyang 2020 na SALN habang siya po ay alkalde ng Davao. Meron po siyang dineclare na net worth nilang mag-asawa 56,583,735.01. Kinokonfirma po ba ninyo to?
Your Honor, again, reading from the submitted 2020 SALN of the Vice President, ang declared net worth po niyan at the time was 56,583,735.1.
At magkakano naman po yung kanyang cash at cash deposit noong taong 2020?
Your Honor, based on this 2020 SALN, wala pong nakadeclare na cash on hand or cash deposit ang Vice
Wala rin
President.
pong cash tsaka cash deposit.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Paki-double check po ninyo.
Your Honor, after checking it, we can confirm na wala pong nakalagay na cash on hand or deposit na declared sa 2020 SALN of the Vice President.
Okay, thank you po. Punta po tayo sa kanyang 2021 na SALN habang siya po ay alkalde ng Davao. Ang kanya pong declared net worth nilang mag-asawa po dito ay 65,308,841. Tama po ba? Kinukumpirma po ba ninyo to?
Your Honor, again, I'm reading the 2021 SALN submitted by the Vice President at ang declared net worth po niya was 65,308,841.
At magkakano naman po yung kanyang declared na cash at cash deposit sa kanyang SALN noong 2021?
Your Honor, based on the 2021 submitted SALN of the Vice President, wala pong declared cash on hand or bank deposit.
So 3 taon na po na wala siyang declared, 19, 20, 21. Tama po ba?
Based on the submitted SALN, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Dumako naman po tayo sa kanyang 2022 na SALN habang siya po ay Vice President. Ang kanya pong declared net worth nilang mag-asawa ay 71,058,841. Tama po ba? Do you confirm this?
Your Honor, again, I'm reading the 2022 SALN submitted by the Vice President at ang kanyang declared net worth for that year was 71,558,841.
At magkakano po yung kanyang declared na cash at cash deposit noong taong 2022?
Your Honor, based on the 2022 SALN submitted by the Vice President, wala po nakadeclare na na cash on hand or bank deposit.
Pakisiguraduhin po ninyo, baka namamalikmata lang po kayo.
Give us a few seconds, Your Honor. Your Honor, based on our second look for this SALN, wala din po talaga nakalagay na cash on hand or bank deposit.
Okay, so pupunta po tayo sa 2023. Dito po, meron pong sa kanyang SALN, meron po siyang declared net worth nilang mag-asawa, no? 77,508,841. Do you confirm this?
Your Honor, based on the submitted 2023 SALN of the Vice President, ang nakalagay po na net worth niya for that year was 77,508,841.
At magkakano naman po yung kanyang declared na cash at cash deposit noong taong 2023?
Your Honor, based on the 2023 SALN submission by the Vice President, wala pong nakalagay na cash on hand.
Naman po tayo sa kanyang declared SALN for the year 2024. Ang sabi po dito, meron po siyang declared net worth na 88,512,370.22. Tama po ba to?
Your Honor, based on the 2024 SALN submitted by the Vice President, the declared net worth then was 88,512,370.22.
At magkakano po yung kanyang cash deposit? Declared cash at saka cash deposit noong taong 2024.
Your Honor, reading from the 2024 SALN of the Vice President, wala pong nakadeclared na cash on hand or bank deposit for that year.
Wala pa rin po.
Yes, Your Honor.
So sa madaling salita, yung kanya pong cash na dineclare was only from 2007 up to 2018. Tama po ba?
Based on our received copies of the SALN, Your Honor, yun po yung lumalabas na years na meron po siyang declared cash on hand and bank deposits.
At noong 2019 at 2024, kahit na 5 po, wala po siyang dineklara na cash at saka cash on hand. Tama po ba?
Based on the submitted SALN, Your Honor, wala pong nakalagay na cash on hand or bank deposits.
Kahit 5 po?
Wala pong nakalagay, Your Honor.
Hindi wow. Thank you po, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Chua. Any other member who wish to raise clarificatory questions to the Ombudsman? Any other member?
Madam Chair,
The Honorable Barbers is recognized.
good morning, Honorable Ombudsman Remulla. Gusto ko po lamang humingi ng clarification sa inyong tanggapan. Based po sa SALN ng taong 2007, si VP Sara Duterte at ang kanyang asawa na si Attorney Manasseh Carpio ay mayroon pong business interest and financial connection sa mga sumusunod. 1. Davao Emerging Taipan Corporation, Davao Bounty Times Food Corporation, City Hall King Chow Foods Corporation. Kinukumpirma nyo ba ito?
Si Attorney Karen Bato po yung pwede sumagot.
Yes, salamat.
Thank you. Attorney Bato is recognized.
Good morning, Your Honor. Again, reading from the 2007
May
SALN.
we interrupt Attorney Bato? We just like to extend our thanks to Ombudsman Boying Remulla for showing utmost respect to the impeachment process. Thank you for being here. He is soliciting our excuse because of huge amount of work he has to attend to. So with the indulgence of the members, we're excusing Ombudsman Boying Remulla. Maraming salamat po. we did not suspend. So, may we request Attorney Batu to address the questions of the Honorable Barbers.
Good morning, Your Honor. Again, reading from the 2007 SALN submitted by the Vice President, the business interest and financial connections declared then was the Davao Emerging Taipan Corporation, Davao Bounty Times Food Corporation, and City Hall King Chow Foods Corporation.
May we flash the concerned SALN? What year is this, Honorable Barbers?
Now, 2008.
2008, okay. Now 2008, the focus is on the list of companies?
Yes.
Okay.
Based naman po sa SALN ng taong 2008, si VP Duterte at ang kanyang asawa na si Attorney Manes Carpio ay mayroong business interest and financial connection sa mga sumusunod. 1. Davao Emerging Taipan Corporation. 2. Davao Bounty Times Food Corporation. 3. City Hall King Chow Foods Corporation. Kinukumpirma nyo ba ito?
Your Honor, reading from the 2008 submitted SALN of the Vice President, ang mga financial connections and business interests declared therein were Davao Emerging Taipan Corporation, Davao Bounty Times Food Corporation, and City Hall King Chow Foods Corporation.
Salamat po. Based naman po sa SALN ng taong 2009, si VP Duterte at ang kanyang asawang si Attorney Mans Carpio ay mayroong business interest and financial connection sa mga sumusunod. 1. Davao Emerging Taipan Corporation. 2. Davao Bounty Times Food Corporation. And 3. City Hall King Chow's Food Corporation. Kinukumpirma niyo ba ito?
Your Honor, based on the 2009 submitted SALN of the Vice President, the declared business interests and financial connections were the following: Davao Emerging Taipan Corporation, Davao Bounty Times Food Corporation, City Hall King Chow Foods Corporation.
Salamat po. Based naman po sa SALN ng taong 2010, si VP Duterte at ang kanyang asawa si Attorney Mans Carpio ay mayroon business interest and financial connection sa mga sumusunod. 1. Davao Emerging Taipan Corporation. 2. Davao Bounty Times Food Corporation. 3. City Hall King Chow's Foods Corporation. 4. SGT Fortune House Corporation. And number 5, CYKT Inc. Kinukumpirma niyo ba ito?
Your Honor, I'm reading from the 2010 submitted SALN of the Vice President, and the declared business interests and financial connections for that year were the following: Davao Emerging Taipan Corporation, Davao Bounty Times Food Corporation, City Hall King Chow Foods Corporation, SGT Fortune Horse Corporation, and CYKT Incorporated.
Salamat po. Based naman po sa SALN ng taong 2011, si VP Duterte at ang kanyang asawa na si Attorney Mans Carpio ay mayroon ding business interest and financial connection sa mga sumusunod na negosyo. Number 1, Davao Emerging Taipan Corporation. Number 2, Davao Bounty Times Food Corporation. 3. City Hall King Chow Foods Corporation. 4. SGT Fortune House Corporation. 5. CYKT Inc. And number 6, Zelta Matiem Salon. Number 7, 3 Kids Inc. Kinukumpirma niyo ba ito?
Based on the 2011 SALN submitted by the Vice President, Your Honor, the following were the declared business interests and financial connections. Davao Emerging Taipan Corporation, Davao Bounty Times Food Corporation, City Hall King Chow Foods Corporation, SGT Fortune Horse Corporation, CYKT Incorporated, and Celta Matiem Salon.
Salamat po. Sa taong 2016, based naman po sa salin ni VP Duterte at ang kanyang asawa na si Attorney Max Carpio, ay mayroong business interest and financial connection sa mga sumusunod na negosyo. Number 1, Davao New Royal Taipan Corporation. Number 2, Davao Bounty Times Food Corporation. 3, Metro City Chow Foods Corporation. 4,
As well as the
Times Square
confu-
B Foods Corporation. 5, SGT Fortune House Corporation. 6, CYKT Inc. 7, 3 Kids Inc. Tracking Services Inc. And number 8, Zelta Matiem Salon. Tama po ba?
Your Honor, I'm reading from the 2016 submitted salin of the Vice President, and the declared business interest and financial connection for that year were the following: Davao New Royal Taipan Corporation, Davao Bounty Times Food Corporation, Metro City Chow Foods Corporation, Times Square B Foods Corporation, SGT Fortune Horse Corporation, CYKT Inc., 3 Kids Inc. Tracking Services, and Celta Matiem Salon.
Salamat po. And base naman po sa salin ng taong 2017, si VP Duterte at ang kanyang asawa na si Attorney Max Carpio ay mayroon din hong business interest and financial connections sa mga sumusunod na kumpanya. 1, Davao New Royal Taipan Corporation. 2, Davao Bounty Times Food Corporation. 3, Metro City Chow Foods Corporation. 4, Times Square B Foods Corporation. 5, CYKT Inc. And 6, Tapang at Malasakit Alliance for the Philippines Inc. Tama po ba?
Your Honor, again, I'm reading from the 2017 salin submitted by the Vice President. Ito po yung kanyang mga declared business interests and financial connections: Davao New Royal Taipan Corp., Davao Bounty Times Food Corporation, Metro City Chow Foods Corp., Times Square B Foods Corp., CYKT Inc., Tapang at Malasakit Alliance for the Philippines Inc.
Maraming salamat po. Based naman po sa salin ng taong 2018, si VP Duterte ay mayroong business interest and financial connection sa mga negosyong sumusunod na mga kumpanya. 1, Davao New Royal Taipan Corporation, Metro City Chow Foods Corporation, 3, Times Square B Foods Corporation, and 4, Tapang at Malasakit Alliance for the Philippines Inc. Kinukumpirma niyo po ba ito?
Your Honor, base po dito sa sinumiting salin ng ating Vice Presidente noong 2018, ang kanyang mga diniklarang business interest and financial connection ay ang Davao New Royal Taipan Corp., Metro City Chow Foods Corp., Times Square B Foods Corp., Tapang at Malasakit Alliance for the Philippines Inc.
Salamat po. Based naman po sa salin ng taong 2019, si VP Duterte ay mayroong business interest and financial connection sa mga sumusunod na kumpanya. 1, Davao New Royal Taipan Corporation. 2, Metro City Chow Foods Corporation. 3, Times Square B Foods Corporation. And 4, Tapang at Malasakit Alliance for the Philippines Inc. Ito po ba ay kinukumpirma ninyo?
Your Honor, based on the 2019 submitted salin of the Vice President, here are the business interests and financial connections declared for that year: Davao New Royal Taipan Corporation, Metro City Chow Foods Corporation, Times Square B Foods Corporation, Tapang at Malasakit Alliance for the Philippines Inc.
Salamat po. Punta naman po tayo sa taong 2020. Si VP Duterte ay mayroong business interest and financial connection sa mga sumusunod na kumpanya. 1, Davao New Royal Taipan Corporation. 2, Metro City Chow Foods Corporation. 3, Times Square B Foods Corporation. And 4, Tapang at Malasakit Alliance for the Philippines, Inc.
Your Honor, based on the 2020 submitted SALN of the Vice President, the following are the declared business interests and financial connections. Davao New Royal Taipan Corp., Metro City Chow Foods Corp., Times Square Beef Foods Corp., Tapang at Malasakit Alliance for the Philippines, Inc.
Dito naman po tayo sa SALN niya sa taong 2021. Si VP Duterte at ang kanyang asawa na si Attorney Mans Carpio ay mayroon pong business interest and financial connection sa mga sumusunod na mga kumpanya. 1. Davao New Royal Taipan Corporation. 2. Metro City Chow Foods Corporation. 3. Times Square B Foods Corporation. 4. Tapang at Malasakit Alliance for the Philippines, Inc. 5. Carpio Duterte Lawyers. 6. Kale 88 Foods Corporation. 7. 888 Bistro. And number 8, Mandayaw Fisheries, Inc.
May we just request for a confirmation? No need to read again.
Okay.
Okay, Your Honor, we can confirm from the submitted SALN of the Vice President for the 2021 that those mentioned by the Honorable Congresswoman were the declared business interests and financial connections for the 2021.
Okay, salamat po. Bali, 8 ho yun, ano? Based naman po sa SALN ni VP Duterte noong taong 2022 at ng kanyang asawa na si Attorney Mans Carpio ay mayroon din pong business interest and financial connections silang mag-asawa sa mga sumusunod na kumpanya. 1. Davao New Royal Taipan Corporation. 2. Metro City Chow Foods Corporation. 3. Times Square B Foods Corporation. 4. Tapang at Malasakit Alliance for the Philippines, Inc. 5. Carpio Duterte Lawyers. 6. Kale 88 Foods Corporation. 7. 888 Bistro. And number 8, Mandayaw Fisheries, Inc. Bali, 8 po.
Your Honor, based on the 2022 SALN of the Vice President, we can confirm that those you mentioned were those business interests and financial connection declared therein.
Salamat po. Sa taong 2023, sa SALN ni VP Duterte at ng kanyang asawang si Attorney Mans Carpio, may nakadeclare po ng mga business interest and financial connection sa mga sumusunod na mga negosyo. 1. Metro City Chow Foods Corporation. 2. Davao New Royal Taipan Corporation. 3. Times Square B Foods Corporation. 4. Tapang at Malasakit Alliance for the Philippines, Inc. 5. Carpio Duterte Lawyers. 6. 888 Bistro. 7. Kale 88 Foods Corporation. Number 8, Mandayaw Fisheries, Inc. Number 9, Mati City Ice Plant and Cold Storage, Inc. Number 10, Amyanan Shores, Inc. And 11, Geometry Security and Investigation Agency, Inc.
Your Honor, again, basing on the 2023 submitted SALN of the Vice President, we can confirm that those you mentioned were the business interests and financial connections declared therein.
Salamat po. Ngayon pong sa taon pong 2024, ang SALN ni VP Duterte at ang kanyang asawa na si Attorney Manases Carpio ay mayroon din pong business interest and financial connection sa mga sumusunod po na kumpanya. 1. Metro City Chow Foods Corporation. 2. GenCorp Industries, Inc. 3. Carpio Lawyers. 4. 888 Bistro. 5. Kale 88 Foods Corporation. 6. Mandayaw Fisheries, Corporation. 7, Mati City Ice Plant and Cold Storage Inc. 8, Amyanan Shores Inc. 9, Geometry Security and Investigation Agency Inc. And 10, Cable Tow 88 Shipping and Marine Services Inc. Kinukumpirma niyo po ba ito?
Your Honor, reading from the 2024 submitted SALN of the Vice President, we can confirm that those 10 business interests and financial connections that you have read were declared by the Vice President in her 2024 SALN.
Salamat po. So, tama po ba na base sa mga SALN ni VP Duterte at ni Attorney Manscarpio ay kada taon ang mga business interest nila ay dumadami?
We cannot make any conclusion on the ano po, basta kung ano lang po yung binasa ninyo, we can confirm na yun po yung nakalagay sa SALN nila, Your Honor.
We know the answer of Attorney Bato.
Okay. Madam Chair, manifestation.
Yes, you may proceed.
Sana po ay merong maipakita sana sa atin kung ano ang importansya o reason ng pagdami ng mga interest sa mga negosyo ng mag-asawang Duterte Carpio. Like paglaki ng kanilang income, net worth at halaga ng kanilang yaman. Anyway, that's all, Madam Chair. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Barbers. Any other Justice member who wish to raise questions to the Office of the Ombudsman?
Madam Chair, manifestation.
The Honorable De Lima is recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Observations on what I hear and what I saw on the screen and the presentation of those SALNs from 2006 to 2024. The latest in the possession of the Ombudsman. Latest po yung 2024.
Yes, Your Honor.
So wala pa po yung 2025.
We have not received the submission of the 2025
For
SALN of the Vice
2025.
President.
So the latest is 2024.
Yes, Your
Tatlong
Honor.
obserbasyon po. Yung kanina, yung tungkol nga po yung pag sa questioning po ni Honorable Joel Chua, yung kapansin-pansin na mula 2019 to 2024, the respondent...
Honorable De Lima, kindly speak closer to the microphone. And may I share as well the matrix prepared by the Secretariat with respect to the information gathered from the SALNs of the respondent. Kindly flash the matrix of the SALN of VP Duterte. This may help Honorable De Lima in her clarificatory questions.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So can we see it, please? The matrix on the first point of observation that I'm making. Yung tungkol po doon sa wala na pong naipakita o wala na pong naideclare o report na cash in bank or cash on hand from 2019 to 2024. Pero nung mga una ay meron mga rini-report na mga cash on hand or cash in bank. So, mali ho atang matrix yung nakalagay dyan. Yung dapat po makita natin, yung matrix na pinapakita na wala na nga ng mga report na cash on hand from 2019. Yes, it's there ho pala. So, from 2019 to 2024, wala na pong cash on hand or cash in bank. Para sa akin po, ang biglaan at tuloy-tuloy na pagkawala ng deklarasyon ng liquid assets because cash on hand and cash in bank are liquid assets. Sa kabila ng dati meron naman na mga halaga ng mga cash on hand, cash in bank ay nagdudulot ng pagdududa sa kawastuhan at kabuuan ng subsequent SALNs ni VP Sara. Second point of observation, Madam Chair, tungkol naman po sa liabilities. Nakita rin po natin na as to liabilities, VP Sara declared 6,954,454 in 2016. Nandyan ho ba yan? Yung liabilities, 2016, 6,954,454. At sa 2017 naman, liabilities of 6,954,454 313,188 in 2017 and 6,119,113 in 2018. At sa 2019 naman po ay 3,460,790 and 2,490,105.90 in 2020. Kapansin-pansin po na mula 2021, tanging ang kanyang asawa na si Maneses Carpio. Nagre-reflect po ba yan dyan? Na tanging yung kanyang asawa na si Meneses Carpio ang may dineklarang mga liabilities at wala nang iniulat na utang o liability ni VP. Mako-confirm mo ba yan?
Your Honor, I'm reading from the 2021 SALN submitted by the Vice President, and it is stated there that the liabilities was a personal loan from various creditors po by Attorney Manasseh Carpio.
Yes. How about on the part of VP Sara herself? Meron pa ho ba ng mga report na liabilities in 2016, 2017, beginning in 2021? Meron ho ba report na liabilities?
Let me check, Your Honor, with regard to the 2022 SALN of the Vice President. Based on the submitted 2022 SALN of the Vice President, the liabilities stated or declared therein was a personal loan of Manasseh Carpio. That's all, Your Honor, for the 2020.
Maneses Carpio. How about 2022? So no VP, no Sara Duterte.
For the 2023 SALN, Your Honor, based on the submitted SALN by the Vice President, the liabilities declared therein was a personal loan of Manasseh Carpio, Your Honor.
Again, of Maneses Carpio and not Sara Duterte. 2024, please.
For the 2024 SALN, Your Honor, reading from the submission of the Vice President, the liabilities were declared to be loans of Manasseh Carpio only, Your Honor, from various
Again,
creditors and
only Maneses Carpio and not Sara Duterte. Observation with respect to this, for the record, Madam Chair, ang ganitong biglang pagbabago sa paraan ng pag-uulat ng liabilities ay lubhang kahinahinala at nararapat siya sa atin, as it may indicate reclassification.
Louder, Honorable De Lima, please.
Ang ganito pong pagbabago sa paraan ng pag-uulat ng liabilities ay lubhang kahinahinala at nararapat siya sa atin, as it may indicate reclassification or possible circumvention of full disclosure requirements. One last point of observation, pagdating naman po sa net worth. So pinakita po kanina, we can again show po the matrix. We can
Please flash the matrix.
The respondents declared net worth increased from 34,895,997 in 2016 to 71,658,841 in 2022, the year she assumed the office of Vice President. Sa loob lamang ng 2 taon, ito ay lalo pang umakyat sa 88,512,370.22 noong 2024. Obserbasyon po, ang ganitong mabilis at medyo malaking pagtaas ng yaman with the absence of declared liquid assets and the diminution or transfer of liabilities ay nagbubunsod ng seryoso ring pagdududa hinggil sa veracity, transparency, and integrity of the Vice President's financial disclosures. So those are my observations with respect to the SALNs. Maraming salamat po.
The observations of the Honorable De Lima are noted by the committee.
Madam Chair.
The Honorable Keith Flores.
Madam Chair, I just have a few questions for the Ombudsman. Madam Chair, every government employee is required to fill up a SALN, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And in that SALN, di ba, may sa bottom niyan is may waiver. No? Every government employee in filling up a SALN also executes a waiver. Tama po ba?
Can we show the last page of the SALN just for reference to the question of the Honorable Flores? Please flash last page of SALN. Attorney Bato?
Um, Your Honor, I'm reading the 2024 SALN, the last page of which reads, I hereby certify that these are true and correct statements of my assets, liabilities, net worth, business interests, and financial connections, including those of my spouse and unmarried children below 18 years of age living in my household, and that to the best of my knowledge, the above enumerated are names of my relatives in the government within the fourth civil degree of consanguinity or affinity. I hereby authorize the Ombudsman or his/her duly authorized representative to obtain and secure from all appropriate government agencies, including the Bureau of Internal Revenue, such documents that may show my assets, liabilities, net worth, business interests, and financial connections, to include those of my spouse and unmarried children below 18 years of age living with me in my household, covering previous years to include the year I first assumed office in government.
So yan nga. But that applies to all, di ba? All government employees.
Yes, Your Honor.
Sa standard siya in all SALNs na
Yes.
sinasubmit.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, yung second paragraph kasi it says na it authorizes the ombudsman to conduct an investigation or something like that, no? Tama ba?
Um,
Or to look into. Oo. To gather documents also. Yung second paragraph pa.
Based on this second paragraph, Your Honor, the Ombudsman can look into the or can secure from other government agencies yung mga documents
Yes.
pertaining to the SALN.
And based on that, parang paragraph, in fact, it does not even require a complaint to be filed for the ombudsman to look into these things.
Yes, Your Honor, because it's included in our functions that we can conduct a motu proprio investigation.
Who's with you, Attorney Bato?
I'm with Assistant Ombudsman Armando Sanchez Jr., Your Honor.
Sir, would you be in a better position to answer the questions? Kasi I noticed that our title is parang Central Records ata yung si Attorney
Assistant
Bato.
Ombudsman Sanchez is recognized.
Good morning, Your Honors. Yes, sir. We confirm that we can conduct motu proprio investigation.
Based on that portion of the SALN.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, now in this particular case, sir, was there an investigation ever conducted on the part of the Vice President?
Your Honor, please, with all due respect, we are not, we have no knowledge or idea if there is ongoing investigations against the BP.
Ongoing or previously wala
Yes,
talaga.
Your Honor.
Kasi there were reports before, di ba? I've read in the newspaper a long time ago na may investigation na kinonduct. That's not true. You're not confirming it.
Honorable Flores is reminded to confine the questions to what appears in the SALN, the
I
subject
see.
matter of the subpoena.
It's just related to the waiver, madam. Anyway, I'll withdraw that question. No? So, ano na lang na sa waiver na yan, you just answered na wala kang alam na investigation being made by the ombudsman as of now.
Your Honor, as far as I'm concerned, I have no idea or knowledge regarding any investigation, Your Honor.
So, are you speaking on your personal capacity as his ombudsman or for the ombudsman as an office?
Your Honor, as Assistant Ombudsman, assisting the records officer of the Office of the Ombudsman, Your Honor.
So, not as for in behalf of the entire office of the ombudsman.
Yes, Your Honor.
Meaning somebody else might have knowledge or information about it, but not you.
I confirm, Your Honor.
Okay. So, that's all, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Just for the record, the last question of the Honorable Flores springs from the waiver that appears at the last page of the SALN, whether or not, as a consequence of the waiver, there is any past or current investigation being conducted by the Office of the Ombudsman. That's for the record. Any other member who wish to? Honorable Marcoleta, please understand that you are
Madam
not a
Chair.
member of the Justice Committee. You're allowed to manifest, but you cannot raise clarificatory questions to the
Yes, ma'am,
resource
but
persons.
I'm about to
You may proceed.
raise a manifestation, ma'am, about the SALN, ma'am. First of all, let me state on record that the SALNs discussed were not attached in the original complaints. Hindi po sila kasama sa original complaints. And using the SALNs as a starting point without necessary predicate evidence supports the position that the investigation of the House of Representatives Committee on Justice is a fishing expedition. And if I may add, Madam Chair, on the SALN issue, the complaint asks this committee to obtain bank records, SALNs, coordinate with the AMLC, and forensic accounting. If so, it is an acknowledgement that the complaint is still seeking the very facts it needs to conclusively prove its SALN theory. Ma'am, malaki po kasi yung pinagkaiba ng isang complaint that already alleges ultimate facts supported by evidence, and a complaint that substantially requests this committee to authorize this committee to investigate, and perhaps we will later find the proof. And if I also raise this observation, Madam, regarding the Ombudsman, the independence of the Ombudsman may be put to question before this body. The House of Representatives Committee on Justice summons the Ombudsman before the members of Congress and the public to present the statement of assets, liabilities, and net worth of the Vice President. While the Ombudsman has an ongoing investigation before its office, the Ombudsman is mandated to have the primary duty to conduct investigations over the misconduct of public officers.
Madam Chair, point of order.
There's a point of order, Honorable Marcoleta.
Just want like to
Honorable
clarify.
Bishop Abante.
I would like to clarify, to ask the Congressman Marcoleta. Sinabi niya kanina hindi kasama yung SALN sa original complaint.
Yes, he mentioned that.
Oh, I'd like to clarify. Paano niya nasabi yun? Kasama eh. Ito, babasahin ko. Vice President Sara Duterte committed culpable violation of the Constitution and betrayed the public trust in amassing unexplained wealth and failing to disclose all her properties and interests in properties in her SALN. Nagalagay po sa complaint eh. Anong sinasabi niya na hindi kasama sa original complaint? I'd like to find out from him.
Honorable
Ang hirap
Marcoleta.
noon, Chair, salita siya ng salita dito. Kinakailangan maging sure tayo na hindi nabanggit.
And if I may add, for the guidance of the honorable members and in response to the manifestation of the Honorable Marcoleta, I will be reading the specific paragraph where matters concerning SALN was mentioned in the complaint. With regards to Sabale complaint, there are allegations in paragraph 107, 108, 109, and paragraphs 285 to 290. And for Cabrera complaint, may we refer the Honorable Marcoleta as well to paragraph 20.3, paragraph 76, paragraph 77, paragraph 232, paragraph 233, 234, 235, 236, 237, 238, 239, 240, 241, 242, and even from paragraphs 244 to 246. For the information of the Honorable Marcoleta,
Yes,
the
ma'am.
mentioned
Binanggit po ang...
paragraphs contained allegations which are relevant to the salens of the respondent.
Yes, ma'am. It was mentioned, I think, very adequately, the word silence, but they were never attached to the original complaints. Parang this complaint is just merely requesting the committee to produce evidence. Ibig sabihin, wala pang ebidensya, nakikiusap sa committee na ito para mag-produce ng ebidensya na wala, hindi nakakabit sa original complaints. Yun lang po ang sinasabi ko, ma'am.
In other words, you admit that there were a lot of times that salens were mentioned in the impeachment complaint. However,
They were never
they were not
attached.
attached in the
Opo.
impeachment
Wala pa
complaint.
pong ebidensyang nakalakip dun po sa complaint. At ngayon pa lang po natin binubuksan dahil ito po ay kumbaga request ng complainant.
Please understand as well that the compulsory process that was granted to the Justice Committee is for the purpose of testing the sufficiency of the allegations in the complaint, whether the same constitute probable cause, which is the mandate of this proceeding. So, with all due respect, Honorable Marcoleta, it is our humble position that all the actions of this committee, including the issuance of subpoena of all these questioned salens by Your Honor, is in accordance with the rules of impeachment, the Constitution, and even with the decisions of the Honorable Supreme Court.
Ma'am, the court will be the better judge of that.
And that is why you should elevate that before the Honorable Court.
Maybe not me, but some other parties. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Any other member who wish to raise clarificatory questions to the Ombudsman? Hearing none, may we direct the committee secretary to call the Vice President
Madam
in
Chair,
order
just,
to extend to her
Madam Chair.
the opportunity to present evidence, including those which will counter the testimony provided already and the documents provided already by the Office of the Ombudsman.
Madam Chair.
The Honorable Garbin is recognized.
Thank you, Madam. Just a few questions to the representatives of the Ombudsman. Kayo ho'y nagpresenta ng SALN and what was presented by your office. Are those SALNs under your custody and the entries, the official entries in those SALN? Tama po ba?
Yes, Your Honor.
But that entries does not say whether there is a misdeclaration, untruthful declaration, or willful non-disclosure that will lead to unexplained wealth. Tama po ba?
Your Honor, binasa ko lang po kung ano yung, at kinonfirm ko lang po kung ano yung nakalagay sa SALN.
Honorable Garbin, I'm afraid but we are not allowed to raise questions which will go beyond what appears in the SALN.
That's why, Madam Chair, I just need confirmation whether that
Yes.
presentation
Issues concerning misdeclaration.
yields in support to the complainants. First of all, Madam Chair, wala yung complainant dito eh.
I understand, but please limit your questions to
And that's why I want to ask
contents of the
sana yung
affidavit.
complainant
Contents of the
as
SALN.
to his allegation, because it was pointed out that the SALN was only part of a broader allegations of unexplained wealth. But as correctly pointed out by Mr. Marcoleta or Congressman Marcoleta, those SALN that was, or that we want to specifically pinpoint that have material misdeclaration or untruthful declaration was never attached in the first place
We are
in the
not
complaint.
yet on that, Honorable Garbin. We are only on the existence of the SALNs.
We were already through on that. We already approved, voted on the ultimate facts and the sufficiency in substance. And the annexes provided in the complaint, Madam Chair. So what we have here is an improvement of the complaint, of the complainant's evidence. tayo yung nagpo-produce ng ebidensya which is not supposed to be the case.
With all due respect, Honorable Garbin, the issuance of the subpoena is not for the purpose of adding, supplementing, or correcting whatever appears in the complaint. The purpose of the issuance of subpoena is to test whether the complaint is sufficient already for the existence of probable cause. To
Well-
aid the justice members in judging whether or not probable cause exists on the basis of the allegations in the complaint, including the attached documents.
If I may, Madam Chair.
The Honorable Chua.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, let me walk you through Section 7 of our Rules of Procedure in Impeachment Proceedings. Sabi po dito, the committee shall conduct a hearing. The committee, through the chairperson, may limit the period of examination by members of the committee. The committee shall have the power to issue compulsory processes for the attendance of witnesses and the production of documents and other related evidence. So, yun po yung ginagawa po natin dito. This SALN, ito pong SALN na to ay pumapasok po dito po sa power ng committee. Hindi naman po tayo ang nagsasabi niyan. Ang nagsasabi po niyan ay ang ating rules. Maraming salamat po, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Before we proceed,
Madam
I just
Chair.
want to state for the record, Honorable De Lima, that the committee is already in receipt of the notices of disallowance referred to by Attorney Camora of ICFAO COA during the April 14 hearing. This pertains to the disallowances of the first 3 quarters of the OVP Confidential Fund of 2023, the first, the second, and the third. The total amount of these notices of disallowances is 375 million pesos. So the COMSEC is directed to provide copy of this notices of disallowance to the Vice President, the complainant, and all the members of the Justice Committee. The same is true with respect to the decision referred to as well by Attorney Camora of ICFAO COA. This is to prove that the appeal pertaining to the last quarter of 2022 confidential fund of OVP has been denied, which means that the notice of disallowance for the last quarter of 2022 was affirmed by the Commission on Audit. Likewise, the Committee Secretariat is directed to provide copy of the same to the Vice President, the complainants, and all the Justice members. Honorable De Lima is recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just wish to put forth additional counter-arguments on the points raised by the Honorable Marcoleta and also certain points raised by the Honorable Garbin. Okay, first, we have determined already sufficiency in substance of the complaints. Sufficiency in substance, both in form and substance, and that includes the annexes. Pangalawa po, hindi po required na lahat ng mga pwedeng ebidensya ay dapat na produce na ng complainants at the time of the filing of the complaint. And that's why we have these processes of subpoena para makalakap ng mga ebidensya na nakasabi sa complaint tsaka yung mga related evidence. Ang importante po dito, especially in the issuance of subpoena, yung requirements of specificity or sufficiently describe yung mga dokumento na pinapaproduce at yung relevance to the issue. Wala pong duda dun sa mga subpoena po natin ng production for the production of specific documents like respondent SALNs, the AMLAC records of the flagged bank transactions of the respondent, the records of her corporate holdings, records of her financial transactions. These are all relevant to the grounds alleged in the complaint. They directly relate to the issues actually and specifically raised in the third and fourth impeachment complaints, the Saballa et al. And Cabrera complaints, particularly that respondent purportedly engaged in culpable violation of the Constitution, graft and corruption, bribery, including the accumulation of unexplained and or ill-gotten wealth and her ownership of secret bank accounts worth millions if not billions of pesos, all of which she did not declare in her SALNs. Doon sa punto na ini-improve daw po natin. Actually, there's nothing wrong about that, improving the evidence that are sought to be presented by the complainants, kasi tayo nga po ang magiging prosecutors later, and we are determining at this point the existence of probable cause, and therefore we need the guidance of any other relevant evidence para makarating po sa determinasyon na yan ng existence of probable cause. We develop, we improve, we ask for other additional evidence as long as they are relevant to the issue or issues as alleged in the complaints. So wala pong mga linalabag dito na mga principles pagdating po sa tungkol doon sa kailangan ba na linalagay lahat o pinipresenta na lahat sa complaint pa lang. So malinaw po yan, Madam Chair, hindi po kailangan. Thank you.
Madam Chair,
The Honorable Chel Jokno is recognized.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. Wala naman pong pinagkaiba ang ginagawa ng Committee on Justice doon sa ginagawa ng isang prosecutor na nagko-conduct ng preliminary investigation. Just like a prosecutor under the rules of the House, we have the power to issue subpoena to determine what used to be called probable cause, although what is now called certainty of conviction. And para sa akin, mas mahalaga pa nga yung tungkulin natin na yon dahil wala pa naman po tayo sa adversarial stage. We are very clearly in the inquisitorial stage where we are meant to inquire whether there is sufficient probable cause. Kaya po tayo binigyan ng ngipin ng House rules para makapagsabpina ay para nga makita ang ebidensya. And I'm very disappointed at any attempts to remove that power from us, because that is precisely why the Constitution requires that we conduct a hearing. Yung hearing naman natin, hindi para marinig natin yung salita ng iba't ibang mga nandito ngayon, kung hindi makita mismo yung ebidensya. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
Chairman,
Madam
Madam
Chair.
Chair. May
The
last minute
Honorable
mistake.
Garbin.
Madam Chair.
At the outset, Madam Chair, let me state that I am for the truth and for knowing whether this material or misdeclaration of the SALN. What I'm saying here, the observance of procedural due process. Going back to the complaint, as stated, this specific SALN were not attached. And we say observance of procedural due process. Ang tinatawag po doon, paano makakapagsagot yung isang respondent kung wala naman specific allegations doon sa mga iprinisintang SALN. We agree that we have compulsory processes to produce those documents relevant to this hearing, but the absence of giving opportunity to the respondent the right to be heard or to answer, and those specific allegations, it's not even a specific allegation because it was part of a broader allegations of unexplained wealth. Ako po ay isang abogado bago mambabatas. Ako po ay dumaan din sa napakaraming preliminary investigation. And kung magpipresenta tayo dito ng dokumento na hindi natin bibigyan ng oportunidad yung inaakusahan dito, then where is the procedural due process? That's why I'm saying, are we
Honorable
proving
Garbin.
the complaint? Or
Honorable
it is
Garbin.
better left to the impeachment court to present all these documents so that the respondent will also have the right to confront those evidence presented against her,
Notice is being given to her.
and the right also to examine those specific SALN that allege misdeclarations of unexplained wealth.
Honorable Garbin, I just want to state for the record that since the start of the presentation of witnesses and evidence, we've been sending notices to the Vice President, to the respondent, and as a matter of fact, even after every resource person, we are calling the Vice President to check if she is present so we can cater the opportunity to be heard that you are mentioning. Honorable Garbin, in as far as due process is concerned, I honestly believe that this committee has been amply complying in providing the same to the respondent Vice President. And let us all be reminded that this issue raised by the Honorable Garbin is already pending before the Supreme Court. So with the indulgence of the justice members, perhaps we should leave this to the judgment of the Honorable Supreme Court. With that, can we proceed to the presentation of our resource persons?
Madam Chair,
The Honorable Tino.
may I ask some clarificatory questions regarding from the Ombudsman?
The Ombudsman.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Could we have the summary table of the SALN of the VP?
Can we
on
flash
the
again the
screen?
matrix? You need the matrix?
Opo, opo.
Kindly flash the matrix, Secretariat.
Alright, thank you po. Just to confirm lang po sa Ombudsman, napansin ko lang po kasi na yung declaration or statement of assets, both real assets and personal assets for the years 2019 and 2020 are exactly the same. Tama po ba yan? Hindi naman kaya baka nagkamali lang nung cut and paste. Is that correct?
2019 and 2020.
Yes, is that correct? 2019, the real assets are 300 39,798,891, and that is the exact same figure for 2020. Tama po ba? And then for personal assets, the figure is 19,274,950 for both 2019 and 2020. Tama po yun?
Your Honor, based on the 2019 and 2020 SALNs submitted by the Vice President to the Office of the Ombudsman, we can confirm that
Exactly the
the
same.
real assets and personal assets were the same for those 2 years.
Okay. And for the years 2021 to 2022, personal assets are exactly the same. Tama po ba? 20
Please show the matrix.
23,849,950 personal assets. Tama po na pareho. Sakto.
That is 2021 and 2022 personal assets.
Your Honor, reading from the 2021 and 2022 submitted SALNs of the Vice Presidents, we can confirm that for the personal properties declared therein, it's the same amount po.
Okay. Thank you. So, again, and of course, yung sa real assets in the years 2009 to 2011, pareho, no? And also for 2016 and to
2009 to 2011 real assets. Closer to the microphone, Kong Tenyo.
Oo. Well, siguro, Madam Chair, thank you for the confirmation. So I just wanted to check whether tama yung matrix. No? So
Can we mark also 2009 to 2011 real assets? 10 million. Exactly the same as well. May we see confirmation from the OMB?
Give us a few seconds, Your Honor. Give us a few seconds, Your Honor.
Yes, please. 09, 10, and 11.
Your Honor, based on the 2009, 2010, and 2011 submitted SALNs of the Vice President, we can confirm that the declaration therein was stated as 10,802,668.65 for the 3 years.
That's
Okay.
the same, exactly the
Thank
same
you.
amount.
Yes, Your Honor.
Please flash the matrix, please. That's the 2009, 10, and 11 real assets. 10,802,668 pesos and 65 centavos. Exactly the same amount for 09, 10, and 11. Honorable Tino.
And for the sake of completeness, 2016, 2017 real assets, same.
2016 and 2017
Opo.
real assets. Matrix. So for the record, 2016 and 2017, based on the matrix, the amount is exactly the same. That's 30,548,891 pesos. May we request confirmation from the OMB?
Your Honor, basing from the 2016 and 2017 SALN of the Vice President, the real properties declared therein is at 30,548,891 for the 2016 and 2017
So
year.
you confirm.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Honorable
Thank
Tino.
you for that. Just a few observations, Madam Chair.
Yes, you may proceed.
Opo. So, I suppose for the real assets, that can be explained, no? Kasi mga lote ito. So, perhaps from year to year, hindi magbabago. As to the personal assets, I don't have a copy of all of the SALNs. Could the ombudsman maybe just name the the breakdown of the personal assets in particular that were declared by the Vice President? Kasi mas medyo gusto ko lang unawain bakit hindi nagbabago from year to year yung declaration of personal assets.
Your Honor, may I clarify kung anong year po ng SALN?
Okay. So for example, yung 2019 to 2020 and 2021 to 2022, pareho po kasi yung figures for personal assets for 2 years. So I'm just trying to further understand bakit hindi nagbago yun.
I don't think, Honorable Tino, that Attorney Bato is competent to answer your question.
No, as far as I know, there would be a breakdown of personal assets in the SALN, the entries.
Is there a breakdown? You can confine your answer to what appears in the SALN.
Your Honor, based on the SALN submitted by the Vice President, the personal properties were described therein. May description po.
So can you confirm if the personal properties enumerated in the two concerned calendar years are exactly the same? That's
Your-
20 and 21.
Yes. 19, 2020 and 21 and 22.
Just to confirm, Your Honor, so we're speaking of the SALENs from 2019, 2020, 2021, and 2022.
Yes.
Kindly flash the matrix.